For today's episode, I'm going to take you guys through my process on designing a sheath for a huge chopper by Will Stelter. He's a very talented bladesmith. He and I just collaborated on this set, and we're going to turn just plain leather into something super usable, super cool looking. Check out Will's video after to see the final product. So I have a new blade here from Will Stelter. Let's see what he sent. It's an awesome chopper. Huge brute with an heirloom fit handle. This thing is awesome. And he said the client wants an underarm carry with crossbody mount. So with a blade like this, being this big, we're gonna go handle down so that it sits, I'm small, the guy's a lot bigger than me, but it's gonna sit under his arm right here so he can just grab it and it'll hang free and it's not banging into anything, because if we tried to go handle up, it's a little bit awkward. So we'll go handle down because this is pretty huge right there, and we'll have a few points of contact so that it sits comfortably. So first things first, we're going to trace out the knife on the paper, and that way we have something just perfect two-dimensional we can go off of and build from there. So you guys can't really see this outline. I'm going to use a gold Sharpie for your sake, but typically I just use pencil. Take this and I'm gonna actually trace an outline. We have our knife here, right? But we can't just make the leather slightly larger. You have to build a welting, because unless you have a welting, the blade will cut right through the leather. So next we're gonna take, and I'll get my 1/2 inch ruler. Because this is such a big blade, we're gonna oversize just a little bit, probably by an 1/8 inch. So I'll take my tracing, we'll line out our general shape. And we want to keep in mind we need enough room for this hump to be able to go in and out of the sheath. You'll see what I mean. When you're drawing straight lines, you don't want to lose the shape of the blade. We want to keep the look. Even when this is covered by leather, you want to see what the general look of this blade is going to be. So, we'll do that next. Sometimes it's really easy to curve in the tip of the sheath just because it's long, it's big, it's got a big taper to it. But we don't want to do that because this does have a pretty prominent sharp point to it still. So we're going to keep that shape and just feather this in. So we have that there. We see this hump is a little bit higher, but I'll just cut my welting on the inside of that gold line. We'll have plenty of room. So now, because this handle is going to hang upside down, right? Blade here, let's say it was going to be blade side down. I don't really have to worry about the blade falling out of the sheath. This is a huge knife. So, because we're going to go handle side down, I actually have to plan a retention strap. Considering that it's going to be hanging like this, a comfortable grip is going to be if he can get his finger almost right up there where Will has forged in that little nook. We're going to shape this sheath to come right over the blade, down into that nook, and then back up to cover part of the handle. Considering how big this handle is too, what we're going to do is cover part of it, a good part of it, because it doesn't need to stick out like a giant stick. We'll cover a good portion of it, but enough that you want at least 3.5 fingers to be able to handle the We're going to cover a good portion of the handle because you want at least No matter how I say it, it sounds sexual. We're gonna cover a good portion of this handle, but we're gonna leave just enough that he can still grab it and pull it out of the sheath comfortably. What I can do is I'll take this on the small wheel of my grinder at the end of building this sheath, and I'll lower that dip so it's just perfect with the knife. But I want to build it a little bit bigger so I have material to eat away at. So now that we have the body of our sheath lined out, we have to think, how can this guy comfortably carry such a big blade? Because this is a monster. Something I really like to utilize is these big O-rings. What it allows him to do is he can move the strap around. Let's say he wants it higher up on his shoulder tighter, he'll be able to move the strap up here. Or if he wants it to hang looser, he can put it down here. So planning this out, I'm gonna detail where these are gonna stay. This one is gonna allow for a 2-point contact. So he can put one through his belt loop and one will attach to this at the very top. So now we have our little mount for the O-rings. What's going to do is put them right here. We'll anchor it in the center, stitch our little circle, and then we can clamp down super duper tight right here, stitch those on, and it'll be a tight grip, but he'll be able to get a swivel snap right there between the leather, pop it on, these spin, there you go. So it can rotate anywhere he wants, and he'll have 4 points of contact for his sheath, his harness. So this will be here and here, and the rest of it will just be a nice big strap. We'll put some beaver tail on this perhaps, maybe some alligator, I don't know. But Will's gonna be here tomorrow, so now the design is done, and we're just gonna wait for Will.